So yeah, we have Mr. Daytopia here. Quick one. I was just telling the teams here that they could actually make it as a role play as well. Just confirm that if this is okay. So when I mean a role play, I was saying that they could actually say, "Oh, we are the CEO of Dangote companies. I'm the CEO of Dangote companies. This is my CFO. Is it possible? Is it something that they can do as well?"
Dr. Adenumoke, thank you. Yes, that's fine. As long as the core of the uh, analysis, the core of the face is still achieved. So as long as you still analyze what exactly is going on with that particular company recently, I'll say within the last 5 years. So that's still perfectly fine. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Okay.
we
Yes, sir,
can.
we can hear you. But sorry, I didn't get your response to our question, sir. Good evening, everyone.
How are you? So I said yes. She was asking me if there can be role play. So I was saying yes, you can be creative. Act. You can act like you own the company, as long as you are still analyzing the company for us. You are still telling us with. So it has to be actual figures. Has to be what is happening within the company. So how you analyze that it's what is going to be graded. So if you are taking, for instance, taking the financial performance of Dangote for the last 5 years, what story are you telling us from that? So you've been able to take this performance and you've linked it to probably new regulations that are affecting the business in Nigeria at the moment, or probably there's a news that you think is affecting their performance, and you've come on to tell us, to tell a story around it, how it's affecting the business itself, and we can see that from the last 5 years, probably. You are telling us that the profit has declined because of this, right? So if you analyze a company, we don't just want to see, uh, well, profitability is 10% this year. Sorry, 10 profitability was 10% 2 years ago. Now it's 5%. Why do you think there's a reason for that? That's company analysis. So role play is allowed.
Uh,
Whatever you
Baba
want to do,
has a question.
as long as you're still analyzing the company. Yes, Babatunde.
Okay, so please, are we meant to analyze the company like that we're doing within the time frame, or for us now, like our company is kind of okay. The company I'm meant to analyze is kind of, what I say, like it's different from other separatists and like company like that is based on this energy transition thing, like transition to cleaner energy and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So are we meant to place our analysis within a time frame, or we're meant to just analyze like as we feel um best for us to do? Like, can we just suit ourselves, or we should build within the time within a time frame or stuff?
Okay. So I would say you start with the general overview of, so how you do the analysis, start with a general overview of the company, right? What have what's the company about, what they've been able to achieve, probably few uh vision, mission statement, whatever it is. Tell us a bit about the company. And make sure that whatever the analysis you are giving is recent. So I would suggest within a time frame. Why? Because it's easier to to analyze and to judge you based on that. So if you're analyzing in the last 5 years, right? You know, what are the recent trends? Is there any news that is affecting Seplat? How has COVID affected the performance of it over the last 5 years? So uh, it's rather than making when you don't put a time frame to it, your analysis is scattered. You know, it's not you can't really put a structure into it if you don't put time frame. So I'll suggest last 5 years. But then again, I'm suggesting in Daytopia, in the rule book, it's not there's nothing like last 5 years in there. But I'm just suggesting put a time frame to it, the last 5 years, most preferably. Put a so within that 5 years, this is what they've been able to do. This is the growth. That kind of thing it makes your work look structured, and it makes us feel like you know what you're talking about, rather than, well, in 2001 they did this, and now they are doing, it's all over the place. Rather just focusing on those last 5 years, focusing on, and it makes your research even easier. If you go on to research, changes within the last 5 years, or news or regulations that has changed, and I'm guessing a lot of COVID will be there as well. Impact of COVID will be there as well. So try to make sure put a time frame to it within the last 5 years. I think that's the best way to go about it. Is anyone really conversant with company analysis? Have you done something? Has anyone done something like it before?
No, sir. Like everything we've been doing here so far, we've not done anything like that. Okay. Apart from the first round, we've not done anything like that before.
Oh, okay.
Nothing.
Okay. It's good they are learning new things. Okay. So, do we have anyone here that has done something like this before? Okay, Modupe.
I saw Modupe must have. How can Modupe be quiet?
Good evening, ma. Good evening, sir.
How are you?
I'm fine, sir. Yes, sir. I actually want to ask a question. Like the way I actually understand this company analysis is maybe we acting in a position of an equity researcher, and then issuing them a kind of buy or sell or a hold recommendation. Then in this sense, I actually understand this in a way that we have to do some financial kind of forecast and using some valuation model. So I don't know if it's still the same, really. Thank you.
Right. So don't go too far using valuation models. Don't value the company, because it is not strictly financial based. So we don't want you to go. We don't want to judge you on how you are able to value a company, because not everybody can do that, and it's a bit of unfair advantage to people like Modupe that have FMVA already. So no, that's what let me just point out what exactly it is you need to do. You've picked your company. Let me pick probably MTN or Zenith, right? Tell us the market position of Zenith in Nigeria, what it is you know about Zenith. That's an overview, right? And then look for trends in their performance. So like I said, if you pick the last 5 years, is there any trend in their net profit? Any trend is there any trend you can spot in their expenses? Is there any, just try to look for trends within the last 5 years, right? and what exactly is causing that trend. So you notice that Zenith has the profitability of Zenith has grown by 20% year on year for the last 5 years. What are they doing right that probably another company is not doing? Right. So if it has not grown, why is it stagnant? So these are the things that you really need to focus on. Don't value Zenith Bank. Don't tell us whether we should buy or sell Zenith Bank, please. Just because you won't be graded for it. So what we need to see is the company analysis itself, the performance of that company. What have they been doing well? What is it they are not doing well? So it's not just financial as well. You have to look for news on that company, right? What's happening with Nestle lately? What's happening with Seplat lately? Okay, so news about it. Try to link non-financial news, non-financial information with the financial information, really. So pick those financial information you've been able to get, right? You've been able to see how the profit has grown. Pick that one and try to match it with non-financial information. What is happening in that industry within the telecommunication, if it's MTN, or how it's interesting for people that chose MTN because a lot of changes have happened within that space within the last 1 or 2 years, how they've issued the shares and how more investors have even put more money into MTN. So things like that are the things you need to look out for in your company analysis. Babatunde.
Yes, sir. Like now the dimension that you brought now is that okay, initially we have to appear as advocates of the company. Like we have to say, okay, we're from this, like we are probably maybe I'm the CEO or something, and then we are a team that runs the company. So we want to talk about ourselves. We don't want to dwell so much on our challenges. Like we want to paint, like for we now want to paint Seplat in a way to show that like to show that okay, this is what Seplat has been doing to drive Nigeria's push to cleaner and sustainable energy and then cheaper and all of that. So we don't want to come here to say okay, we are not doing enough in this sense, like
okay.
I don't know if you got what I'm saying. Like we are trying to we're trying as much as possible to dwell on.
So I get you, Babatunde. So if you are presenting yourself as an advocate of Seplat, what you need to know is that if probably your profitability or whatever it is that is showing that you guys are not performing so well in the last 5 years, it's still a challenge that you need to explain why that is happening, and you can still put positive news or information to it as to you seeing it change in the next year or two. What are the plans in place to turn that around, right? What are the plans put in place to turn that around? So you still need to, so for instance, I'm coming to your company, Seplat, you're explaining to me what you've been able to do, and you're explaining to me the growth in your profits, for instance, right? So if I ask, why did 2019, for instance, I can see that there was a 10% decline in your profits. You need to still be able to tell me, all right, it was because of this, right? But you are putting this and this in place to make sure that you have steady growth or incremental profitability over the next year or two. So you still need to point it out. We shouldn't be the one pointing it out. It means you've not analyzed the company properly. If you can't point it out that okay, there was a decline here and this was the reason, you've not done a proper company analysis. You have to do a proper company analysis. Tell us why that's whatever the negative news or information is left out, right? And then you can tell us the positive, can give us the positive information why you think that will change in the next year or so. So you're still an advocate. You've pointed out your challenge, but if you read the annual returns of annual reports of companies, the first thing you see there is CEO from the CEO, report from CEO, report from the CFO. The CEO and the CFO, they will still mention there was a decline in 2018 due to this, due to that, right? But they will still talk about how that is going to change. They talk about a lot of positives, you are correct, but you still need to mention the negative, so that, it's not like you're completely blindsided by it, or you didn't do a proper analysis. No, you did it, you found it, you know why it's there, and you know the solution to it. So that's it, Babatunde. All right. Any other person? So, like I said, just okay. So like I said, don't overcomplicate. Simplicity does it a lot of times. Don't overcomplicate it. Make sure that you get a lot of information about this company. Make sure you have a good slide, beautiful slides with good, you have your financial information there, you have the trends showing in your slides, you have information to back it up. So judges we will just want to see the confidence you have, how you've been able to analyze a company, your slides, your presentation slides. So we understand not everyone is an economist or financial guru. So just make sure that you do your best. Get that. You can watch a couple of YouTube these days have a lot of company analysis. There's the CFA challenge as well. So although that is a lot more towards company valuation, but at least you can pick one or two things how you can properly analyze a company, right? Watch. I think there's a previous from the Daytopia competition. There was one of the phases that they had to analyze a company as well. So listen to the last Daytopia competition and see what the judges have talked about and what they wanted to see in the slides, and just to make sure that you do your best, really.
Yeah, I also wanted to say that try as much as possible to sort out the simple parts of the whole presentation, which is presenting right, doing your references right, making sure that your slides are okay, your dates, your statistics should be presented in a very nice way, whereby we can easily see what you have been talking about, and summarize everything in just one graph. So yeah, present your datas right, just do the basics right, because to be honest, there was one of the teams during the business review, they had a very a very good presentation. They did the present, but they didn't have a good slide, they didn't use the right diction, and all those things would also reduce a lot from as well. So in as much as, yes, you'll be working a lot on the analysis of the company, it is important that you also spend a lot of time on checking how you are going to present the old information, working so hard on your slides as well. So do the basics. People like me, if I'm going to be giving you any feedback, my first feedback would be, because I don't know much about company analysis. I'm a science student as well. So if I'm going to be giving you any feedback, my feedback will be based majorly on your referencing. I'm very, very particular about working hard on your referencing, your slides, how well are your slides, and your transitioning within the team as well. How engaging your presentation is. All those things are things you need to work on as well.
Also, guys, just make sure that I think a lot of you might know this, but make sure you understand that the main part or an important part of analysis is making sure you pick a similar company of the same or similar size within that industry to compare. If you are telling us that maybe MTN uh, has done 10 million in COVID, during COVID times, for instance. I'm just saying. So how are you telling us? So you're not just giving us that data, you're not just giving us that information, but you're comparing it to its counterparts that he was able to do this, he achieved this, and meanwhile, he achieved 10 million, but the closest one within that same industry achieved 2 million, right? So that already gives us uh, a bit of understanding that, right, they must have done something really well. But if you just give us 10 million, we are not even sure what exactly it means, right? You've just given us the data, but you're not comparing it to a similar company with a similar size in that industry to let us know that, okay, for them to have done 10 million and the next closest one was 2 million, I'm more interested in knowing exactly what has happened, how they've been able to achieve this, right? So make sure that whatever you do, you're not just giving us the data, you're not just giving us that information, but while you're analyzing, you're comparing it as well to showing us the comparison. You're letting us know that they've against their competitors, are letting us know how they've either done well or not so great. So just make sure you have that in mind as well. But be creative, right? With your slides, especially with your transition. I love what I saw with I think it was Abu Lokoja. I loved it. So be creative with your transition, with your slides, and the whole analysis. Once it's always obvious when you put a lot of effort in something. So try as much as possible to put a lot of effort in it. Make your research, and I can only wish you the best. Hopefully, whichever team you are competing against would do equally well, so that at least to be a bit more competitive, like we saw with Abuja and Lokoja. So it won't be. Yeah. So, anyways, but if you have any more questions, just feel free to ask, or just send your team leader to pop it in the. Yes, Tijan.
Good evening, Dr. Yusuf, and good evening, everyone. Please, am I audible?
Yeah. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. So I just joined the call, I think up to 3 minutes ago, and I'm not saying you should just bring the whole thing back, but I could pick up from where I stopped, and I just sent a message now to appreciate the fact that you acknowledged our yesterday presentation, and thank you very much for that. So uh, company analysis is just a whole new thing entirely for me, especially for those of us that are just, I would say, newbies in finance, not finance guys, but just trying to pick up interest and trying to make ourselves feel like one. So I know very much that it's not gonna be a very easy one, not for only me myself, but for virtually everyone who are not really into finance. So I just want what I would want you to do is maybe a kind of simply a simple kind of summary at the end of everything, so we just have something to take back to our members. Thank you very much, sir.
Is uh you know it's good when you put a lot of effort. So I want to say well done for that as well. Uh and for all the teams as well that presented yesterday. It was great to see that kind of competition, that spirit. It was really nice. Uh so well done to everyone as well. What we were saying so far. But anyways, you have the recording and you can play it again. But in summary, first of all, uh, no valuation is needed. You're not valuing your companies, your selected companies. There's no option to no. You're not recommending a buy or sell or whatever that is. So what it is you are doing is a brief summary of the company. Tell us what the company is about, probably a mission or whatever, vision statements. Uh, Introduce us to the company, right? After you've done that, go straight into your analysis. Go straight into your analysis. What you need to do with your analysis again is that pick the last 5 years, check for trends, start with your financial information, right? Check your trends. What are the differences that you can spot? The key differences you can spot uh in those within those 5 years. So once you spot that, now try to give an explanation to why that has happened. And that is when non-financial information comes in. Check for news, check for updates. Are there any regulations, anything affecting if the profitability, for instance, has declined? Is there anything that you can pin to that? What has really affected that profitability, right? So that is what you need to check for, and you just create a story around it. That is what company analysis is. And I mentioned that make sure that you compare it to another company of a similar size structure within the industry. So if you are giving us information, we need to know if you just give us the information. We are not sure exactly the impact of that information, right? If you are saying they've made 10 million, we don't know what's that impact. What is it? So 10 million, is it good or bad? Okay, you're saying it's bad, but how bad? But it is when you compare it to another similar company. If you are comparing MTN, if you are saying, okay, Glow is the closest to MTN, I'm just saying, for instance, in terms of market share or size. So you're saying Glow has made, MTN made this amount, Glow made this amount. So we can see from there that, oh, wow, that's a lot of difference. So it makes us more keen to really know exactly what has happened, and your explanation will do justice to that, right? You're explaining the economic factors or whatever it is that you think, based on your analysis, you think has affected or has impacted that trend. That's all you are required to do. So make sure your slides are creative, make sure the transition is great. Just make sure you reference as well. uh, Use a lot of financial information, but be be sure to use a lot of non-financial ones as well. So research will do you a lot of good. And if you go back, like I said, if you go back to watch the last Daytopia competition, you have a bit of understanding of what uh, judges really require and the kind of questions they ask. As long as you are able to answer the questions to some extent, you'll be fine. So that's all we've said so far. I think that's all you need really.
I was also going to say that um, take your any of the feedbacks that's been given to you, just take it and run with it as well. Be mindful of your pronunciations. Please don't just. I know that you guys might feel like she's always talking about like I always say, accent is different from pronunciations. You just need to understand the difference between the two, and you can still have your accent and speak in your normal dialect, but pronounce the right words, use the right tenses as well. It's very, very important. And then I was also going to say that I know it's at the moment sounds really big, but try to break the old tax down into chunks, bits of chunks, and then work your way through it. Also speak as team leader, speak to your teams. I know that that there's a particular team here that everyone in that team are, they are science students. But yeah, there's always going to be that one person that might still be just a little bit interested in money to an extent, or a little bit interested in business and all that. So those kind of people, you can get them thinking by yeah, by you can get those kind of people, you can get them thinking by assigning the CFO job to them. You don't have to leave them alone to do it. You work with them as well, but just give them that task to do more of the thinking when it comes to that department. And that's it. That's the way I work. I break my tasks down into chunks, and in no time you just get to it. Don't overthink it. See, the truth there is that who knows? Even if you can't, use those big terms, those big economics and financial terms, like the earlier said, there's a score as well for non-financials as well. At least make sure that the non-financial part you've done an excellent job in it. The only one whereby you might then have a fault might be the financial part. But it won't also make sense if you say, oh, it's because I'm not a finance student, I'm a science student. And then even the non-financial part, you didn't even do it well. So do make sure that even if you yourself can testify that, oh, I did my best. If you're not a finance student, try as much as possible to make sure that the non-financial parts are well done. Ask for help if you need to. I'm sorry that I'm putting Modupe on the spotlight here. I'm putting Abu as well on the spotlight. Abu students, all the Abu students here are financial experts. As in, like, I think that's the only thing they study in Abu. Like I think it's only business and finance they study in that school. So call any one of them, and I'm putting them on spot here because I actually want them to help as well. Call any one of them. Don't burden them too much with your work, because in as much as they also have their own personal things they need to do. But get your questions straight, um, and then you can ask them for help to just shed a little bit of more light with regards to your work as well. Especially if that person is not competing against you. Don't call a team that is competing against you. If you are competing against Abu, obviously they are not going to share their ideas with you. Yeah, but reach out to your colleagues. Reach out to your colleagues. Yeah, reach out to them. And if for any reason any of them decide not to help you, you let me know. I'll go on Twitter and go and drag them on Twitter. All right, that was a joke, but yeah, use all the helps available to you. Yeah, use all the helps available to you, and I'm sure that you guys will be great. It's a learning process as well. It's not, like I said, it's not even about winning, but a learning process. And that's it.
The 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 funny part is that I think Footprint are presenting first, aren't they? So I'm looking forward to those guys, man. I want to see what what you've been able to come up with. It's quite it's an interesting journey for you guys, I believe. So sure you'll be fine. Well, like
Oh, Uni Abuja and Lokoja. The only thing they go to study in those two schools is graphics, like creating of slides. I don't understand where those guys get their slides from.
Uh,
So if you need help,
Especially in Abuja. Hi.
if you need help with slides creation, just transport yourself to Federal University of Lokoja and University of Abuja. Those two people, I don't know where those guys get their slides from. Yeah, but you see, the truth is that it's good to sit down and listen to some of these other people's presentations at times, because it helps you think of, oh, this person can help me out with this, that person can help me out with that, and I'm already giving you tips of how to approach people. You can just ask somebody from Uni Abuja or Federal University of Lokoja, guys, how do you do all this your graphics? Can you just spare me 10 minutes? I've tried to watch YouTube videos, but do your own homework first, though. Don't go and meet them and I don't know what to do. No, 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 no. You don't learn that way. The best way to learn is you have done your own homework. You've probably watched a couple of YouTube videos, but you just need some pointers somewhere. And then it's easier for them to help you that way. Don't go there and say, I don't know anything. Like, it's just like a team came to me and was like, we don't even know how to do our slides. We have never done slides before. Go and learn how to do it. You're in the university, for crying out loud. How can you come and say that you don't know how to do slides? I don't even understand. Like, you're not even meant to even be saying those kind of things at all. At least the basic PowerPoint slides, you should be able to do it. Don't say you can't do it. So the only thing that you might not be able to do is to go technical or to go graphical on the whole thing. But yeah. And anything that you're copying or lifting online, please, I cannot overemphasize that. Please do reference those sources. If you are the one making the graphs yourself, you are just lifting the data online, just write it there, compiled from. You need to write the source that you have gotten the data from. Please don't just copy anything online. This is because we also don't want a situation whereby we would be sued for, illegal use of somebody else's content. So please reference your work correctly. I don't know, we're not even meant to be talking about references at this moment. We are not. You guys have passed the level of us complaining about references. Reference everything. If you are lifting a picture online, please do put a small reference there. Source, this is the source, and that's all we need. And then at the end of your reference slide, your reference slide, you have a full list of all the references everywhere you go, everything there. There are some references that you cannot be using at this time. The last presentation, somebody used Forbes. How can you reference Forbes? You can't reference Forbes. That's not a reference. Or you reference Wikipedia, or you reference Google. You can't reference those kind of things. They're not things that you should reference in an academic presentation or in a professional presentation. So please be mindful of the kind of references you use as well. All these things are things that makes you lose marks. There was a particular team that the difference between them and the other team was just 2 marks, and it was just because their delivery was not their content. Sorry, it wasn't delivery. It was their content and structure. So those are the places where you lose marks. Once your references is not right, you lose marks with your content and structure. If your slides are not well arranged, you lose marks with your content and structure. If we don't sense the confidence in your presentation, you lose marks with your delivery and confidence as well. If there is no team synergy, you lose marks in your delivery and confidence. So please, rehearse as much as possible. Have a great bond with your team. This team synergy must flow. Like, I expect, as I'm presenting, Modupe knows where she's coming in and she's taking it in. Debbie knows where she's taking over from Modupe. Like, everything needs to go like that. You need to watch what is it? Team ASAS. I think it's Team ASAS from last presentation. Like, those guys are exceptionally good because they know themselves. That's why you need to spend a lot of time with your team members. Know them, know when they are pausing, know when they are giving you the signs to take over. And those are things that when you already imagine when you're already scoring a 9 in your delivery and confidence, it covers up for a lot of things. Your content and structure already has a 9 already. Some people the business review that we had the last time, so, I think it was Uni Abuja and Lokoja. They have tens in some part of those graphs. If you are scoring 10 nines already in your graphs, what else? But when you're already losing marks for basic things, it doesn't make sense. So, guys, let's just work hard. There's no point over flogging the matter, but let's just work hard as much as we can. And
the score for Lokoja after they presented, I was seeing a lot of nines. I was like, wow, this guy has already won this group, this round. And then came Uni Abuja with a scintillating performance. And I was like, wow, okay. And I saw 9 and a 10 as well. I'm like, okay, well, this is how to really compete, to even go to see that kind of performance and not be down in confidence, but just go on to present. It really shows a lot about the mentality that Uni Abuja has, which is really great.
And the funniest thing,
It was really great.
sorry to cut you short. The funniest thing was that I even messed up their presentation at the beginning because I wasn't getting their slides up, if you remember.
Yeah.
And they did not even allow that to deter them. They still kept on pushing, and that's the spirit. Because just the same way a team was giving me an excuse, although I understand that the team had some issues, but don't allow because somebody messed up within the team affect your presentation. Don't make it happen. Yeah.
All right, guys. Is there any other thing before we go? I think spent a bit of time here. But if you have any questions, this is not the end of it. This is just a briefing. So if you have any other questions, you can always let us know and try to sort it out. All right. I'm wishing you guys all the best in the final phase. And it's still very much open, especially second and third. So wishing you guys all the best. Yeah, Babatunde.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Please, I wanted to ask when this recording will be posted, as well as that for Saturday.
Tonight.
Saturday tournament.
Tonight. I'll share the
sir.
link tonight. Yeah. No worries. All right, guys. All the best and final phase. Give your team members a warm up because they've tried all through the 4 weeks. So they deserve. So they just end it well. That's all. End it well. Give it a grand finale, and see you guys on Saturday anyway. All the best.
Yeah, all the best, guys. Yeah. If you have any questions, any other questions, please just send a message directly to Dewale. Don't send it to me because, to be honest, I don't know all this financial analysis they're talking about. But yeah, except you have general questions that you want me to answer, yes, I will gladly answer that. But anything that has to do with the details of the company analysis, I won't be able to give you an answer on it because me myself, I'm not a financial student, and I can only pity you guys. I don't want to be in your shoes at the moment. Yeah, but if you've got any question with regards to the financial analysis, please, please, please. If you ask me, it's not like I can answer you, but I have to send it to the financial judges. I'll just post it on the judges board, and then any response I get from them, I'll send it back to you. So, but instead of you going through that route whereby I have to get the response first from them, it's better off that you just send it directly to Dewale, and then he would be able to reply you immediately, and you can get your feedbacks immediately. But aside that, yeah, I wish you guys all the best. Like I said, we've said everything. Make it simple. Christopher, you're making it hard. Make it simple. Make it simple. And Debbie, Barnabas, you guys, I'm hoping that you guys will do great this last one, and I'm rooting for you guys. Really, really, I'm rooting for you guys. Like, I want you guys to crush your opponents. Don't beat them. Oh, I want you guys to crush them. Okay, guys. Bye bye. Yay, Debbie, yay. Yeah, you guys don't want to go. Yeah, I know you would. I know you would, Debbie. I know you give it your best.